General Dua, I want to begin by asking you, did Pervez Musharraf actually stand for peace between India and Pakistan, or did he repeatedly stab India in the back?
Look, the general is dead, but today, since we are discussing him, you ask a child or a military officer or a soldier in India, I think General Musharraf will always be remembered for the backstabbing in Kargil. The Kargil conflict will be the high point that he will always be remembered for. Let me just take you, give me a few seconds to take you back to his background. As a younger army officer, he must have fought the 65 and 71 wars. But the 71 war, the humiliating defeat that the Pakistan army had to suffer, has had a terrible effect on the psyche of Pakistan military more than the whole nation. In 1987, now this is a lesser known fact, in 1987, Pervez Musharraf was a brigadier and he was the brigade commander in Siachen. He launched a special services group. He attacked on one of the posts at Siachen. He was a special forces officer himself. He launched a special services group SSG attack on a post at Siachen, and my battalion, amongst others, was involved in defending those repeated attacks. Even there, he was very frustrated because they could not make any headway. With these kind of things playing on his psyche, when he became the chief, he launched this intervention in Kargil. This infiltration in Kargil was done primarily to block, because those heights that they started occupying were dominating the highway from Srinagar to Ladakh. And that means the logistics and all other movements for Siachen Glacier was through this road. So there was an attempt to again get back at Siachen. And of course, I'm not expanding the discussion to talk about the strategic importance of Siachen.
No, I'll come to that in just a moment, sir, but you're absolutely right. It was Bana post, the Quaid-e-Azam post of Pakistan, as you very rightly point out. So that hurt him, that as the brigade commander and as a SSG officer, he lost the most important post at Kargil in Siachen that Pakistan had. But Sushant Sareen, was his desire for peace genuine, or was it a bogey to repeatedly mislead India?
Gaurav, look, he did give a formula, but the fact of the matter is any Indian leader, political leader, who says that Musharraf was genuinely interested in peace and was a peacemaker, actually tells you how little Indian politicians know Pakistan, how utterly ignorant they are, and how utterly clueless they are. And let me give you a couple of reasons why I say this. Number one, during that so-called golden period, 2004 to 2008, while this formula was being discussed on the back channels, there were 17 major terror attacks in India, including train bombings, including bombings in markets in Bombay. All sorts of things happened. This is not the act of a peacemaker. Secondly, the moment the guy doffs his uniform, not only his army but the entire Pakistani political establishment junked that peace formula. In fact, Gaurav, let me now tell you, senior leaders from the King's Party, the then PMLQ, which was part of the government, they would travel to India, and I can tell you the names: Chaudhry Shujat Hussain, who was one of the tallest leaders of that party, and a doyen of the legal fraternity, SM Zafar. I have had personal conversations with them in New Delhi and on this peace formula while Musharraf was in power. And you know what they used to say? That this is not a workable thing. There is no consensus on it. And yet, if people in India continue to say that this would have worked, then clearly they are delusional. And one final point. My biggest objection to that formula, it was open-ended. The formula said that, you know, for 20 years we'll put Kashmir in the back burner, and then after 20 years we'll reopen the issue. Pakistan was under pressure of the United States and other countries at that point of time. Musharraf needed to put a best foot forward. He offered it, but there was no closure on the Kashmir issue. Now, this was a trap being set for us, and thankfully the Pakistanis sabotaged it themselves.
So it was a trap that was being set for us. Very rightly pointed out. But